Hello everyone! Happy New Year! Happy 2023 with OT Life Hacker here with a fresh new video. So we're starting it off right. This video is going to be for anyone who is going into occupational therapy for school setting with kids. And if you are going into schools, congratulations! It's a fun new environment. It's so fun. And then for those of you who are fieldwork students, going into schools, this video might be very, very helpful for you because we are going to walk you through the process of school assessments for occupational therapy and the IEP preparation. So, we are going to get started. I'm going to switch my video over to the screen so that you can see and go through the process with me. This is a resource that I made that I'm more than happy to share with everyone. If you would like it, it is in the description box below. Now, what are individualized education program meetings? They are opportunities to discuss, develop, and review a student's plan with the entire team involved, and that includes the case manager, which may be a teacher, a counselor, or whoever is designated as the case manager, the coordinator, and district representatives, providers involved such as speech, counseling, behavior specialists, OT, PT, adaptive physical education, and more. Parents, caregiver, and child. So keep in mind, every state, the schools, districts may be different, so know that what I share here may have differences for your school district's policies. Feel free to share in the comments below how your schools do theirs. This is how my experiences have been. Number 1 is coordinate and schedule. So after the parents have given their consent, signed the appropriate forms, then the OT and all the other providers can coordinate and schedule the assessment. Of course, you always want to make sure you check in with the team to make sure you're covering all bases. Then 2 is chart review and research the child. So therapists will do chart reviews and interview those who work closely with the child, such as the teachers, the aides, parents, other supports, to learn more about the student and their unique individual needs. You can request writing samples or coordinate and get needed approval to observe the child in the classroom. They will talk with the parents to know their strengths, academic school-related concerns, school work routines, home supports, and any other pertinent information. Now, this is something that I often did. Granted, you may not realistically be able to go very, very in depth, but any chance that you do get the opportunity, take it. So, what's most important to gather in particular is the concerns and child's strengths. Asking parents for what their concerns are and the child's strengths. Because you can form goals as appropriate and in collaboration, of course, with the parents' needs and what they see for their child. Then number 3 is choose the assessment. Keep in mind, formal assessments would be particularly important, or more so, for the new IEPs and for triennials. So when choosing an assessment, it is very important to gauge the child's area of need and tailor the assessments appropriately. And so, for example, if the child's concerns are with, if the parents say, with their ability to do writing or to do like scissor skills, things that involve fine motor functioning, then you may definitely want to include a fine motor assessment. Now, keep in mind, some schools may have specific protocol and needed assessments, so always follow school policies. These are just a few assessments that you see here that you can use, and they're organized by area of testing, as I said. If it's something that you see with their writing abilities, like they don't look like they have enough strength or coordination in their fine motor skills, this may be an area of interest. Not particularly this one, but looking at assessments that look at this. And keep in mind, again, these are just a few assessments. There is so many more for each category: sensory processing, visual, perceptual, developmental assessments. There's so much more. And if you would like a video going into more depth on the different assessments, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you are liking this video, finding it helpful, please do like and subscribe. Now, if you are working in teletherapy, working virtually, then you can do formal assessments still, such as the sensory profile measure, the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, or the developmental profile, which is here for. And you could also do these assessments, but the validity may not be as strong because you may need to have someone else administer it, or may need to interview caregiver or someone close to get a better representation of the child's needs. But again, you're not getting it direct from observing yourself and assessing them directly. And with that said, all assessments can essentially be done virtually, but you should make note of how the administration went, like how you did it, and that the standardization may have been, maybe note, because it may not be standardized since you are using someone else to administer it who is not fully trained, or you are getting data from secondhand source such as the parents, stuff like that. And very, very important that you be flexible. So especially as new grads and as fieldwork students, we will think that we need to do it a certain way, right, in order to make it standardized. In the quote-unquote real world, it's not always like that. So you have to be flexible. You may not be able to do a standardized assessment because the child may have sensory regulation issues or attention impulsivity, which also can be a safety hazard, behavior stuff. There can be so many different factors that impede the ability to really do a standardized assessment, and for you to try to push for standardized assessment within the very restricted amount of time can be detrimental to all involved. You may not get to finish your assessment. You may not get the full scope of what you're needing. So keep that in mind, what the bigger picture is, which is to be able to figure out what the child needs and create goals that are relevant to them. So it is important, again, to observe the responses and try to engage them in the activity that helps you analyze the skills. Number 4, score the assessments and interpret the results. Of course, following what the protocol is for the manuals. 5 is complete the documentation. So schools I've worked with have all had electronic records where you input information into an online system. Most schools I worked with have used SEIS, which requires you to also document on child's strengths, concerns, baseline level, present level, recommendations, such as the frequency of services and goals. And I have used other systems where they do differ, but essentially you are still capturing their strengths, concerns, baseline, present level, and all of this. Then number 6, make relevant goals. So here are some samples of goals that I have made in the past for fine motor, for the type of grasp, writing, and sensory regulation, self-regulation. Now again, this resource will be available, so you'll have these samples, and know that you again will be able to adapt your goals appropriately to what your school is looking for and to what meets your child's needs. Your school may also have Go banks, OT Go banks for you that you can access. So be sure to ask them for that. Then number 7, the fun part is finalize and hit the ready. So on SACE, on SEIS, you would need to click a button that after you finish, you hit a button that indicates you're ready so that the rest of the staff know that you're ready to go and your portion is done. And then you can also upload your reports per what how your school would like them uploaded. And then number 8, presentation day. So when it's time for the IEP meeting, introduce yourself and share your sections. It's not as intimidating as you will think when you're first getting into it, because you think, oh my gosh, I have to present. You have all of your information there. Really, you're just letting the rest of the team know what you did, and you're collaborating, getting their feedback as needed on what everyone thinks of each other's goals. So, always highlight. This is something that's important to me, is always highlight the child's strengths. That's the first thing I do, is highlight the child's strengths, and that can be, for example, their participation, their effort, successes, no matter how tiny that you noticed. Emphasize that. And that is because these are so easy to overlook, and we often may just present what we feel is needed, the concerns and then the goals, but you want the child and the parent to know that they can do it. The child is doing it. They're making these tiny successes, tiny or big successes, and they're making progress, essentially. You want it to be known that the child is making progress, so that the parent and the child know, essentially, that there's hope, that there's good to come, that the effort the child's put in is not for naught, right? And then also be mindful of time for all the staff. So you have to be careful to not go too into depth over everything. If people have questions, they can ask afterwards, but you want everyone to have an opportunity to get through their section too, because others will have meetings and appointments and sessions to attend. So be very, very mindful. And then number 9, a bonus one, is once everything is finalized and signed off by the parents and guardians after the meeting has finished, then services can be carried out. So once all the parents or guardians give their consent and everything to having all the sessions take place, then services can be carried out. And friendly reminder that each school and district may have things be different. So follow your school's policies. And as you see here, number 9 on our video is like and subscribe to OT Life Hackers YouTube channel if you found this video helpful. Please do let me know by liking and subscribing. Much appreciated. Let me know what your school experiences for occupational therapy have been like in the comments below, and find me on Instagram at OT_lifehacker. Thank you guys so much.